so that, we can also learn from each other. So, yeah. Very warm welcome to all the new members of the family. Chumki ji, I believe you're Sangamita ji's sister. So a very warm welcome to you in this session.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'm so happy to be here with you, everybody. Yes, thank you, Sharoo ji.
Thank you so much for coming.
Sharoo ji, I am recruiting all my family members, or one by one.
Oh, wow, that's really great. I mean, everybody, it's like the meditation gang has to be there. It's like,
No, but I never forced my sister to join. She one day called me and she said that, oh, I want to join what you are doing. And I said, okay, just try one day and see how you like. So she just, she liked it and she joined.
I
never forced her. I never said to join. I just said that.
This morning I was my sister is saying, I was thinking about when this session will start, and I was even when I woke up, I know I felt like this something different is happening to me, and then I was kind of a little fearful. I was talking to Mita, my sister, that I am feeling fearful, that the good feeling that I am having, is it going to go away? So it feels like that this is something new happening to me. I thank you so much.
Chumki ji, we are going to talk about this only, the emotion, the vibration of that emotion. So we are going to talk about that today.
Okay.
So it's
she has Sharoo ji, so many questions. She's talking. I said, stop. You will answer everything. All the answer will come within you. Just wait. Have patience.
True. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Her nickname is Chumki, but we have two names. Bengalis always have two names, nickname and regular. Her name is Fullora actually, but we call her Chumki.
Okay, yes, Chumki it's a very cute name. So I would call her Chumki because Chumki
thank you.
It gives a very cute feeling to me. So Chumki, it's very loving, very loving ring to it. So yeah, I'm going to call
you, Sharoo. Thank you, Sharoo.
You can change it to your name to Fullora to Chumki again.
Okay, but I think it's coming as Chumki. I tried to change it, it did not change, but so I will stick to Chumki. As Sharoo ji said, and that makes me feel proud. Okay, Chumki. If you like it, be it that way.
Yes, Chumki is sweet. Chumki is cute.
Thank you.
Yes. So, a very warm welcome to everyone in this session again with me, Sharoo Sahni, and hope you're excited for this session. I am always excited for all the sessions, be it the sessions that I am taking, be it the sessions that I am attending. So I feel very happy because whenever the learning is fun, whenever the learning becomes very happy, you happily ingest, you happily integrate everything, and you happily acknowledge. But if you're just sad, you are not in a mood to listen to the other person, then it's no fun sitting there. So I feel happy whenever the sessions are there. I just want to spread that smile, and I also want people also to do that, spreading the smiles and happy things. Yeah. Okay, so guys, one thing, friends, that I will be switching off my video because there is some problem, not problem, there's a Wi-Fi issue. So Wi-Fi is not very strong today. So I will be switching off the video while I'm reading the book, the article, today's article, which is very, very, very important. And today's article, basically, it's about the emotion and its associated, vibrations, its frequencies. So first of all, before I get into that article, there is something that I want you people to know what I am aware of, so that I can give you a little bit of trinkets of knowledge as far as this is concerned. Before I get into that article, before that topic comes in. So what I have learned by reading the books and by listening to the masters, by listening to Patriji as well, and various other gurus as well, I just felt that, you might have also come across with this word energy, and not the energy. When we talk about emotion, what is emotion? Emotion is energy in motion. You might have read it so many times, but it might have just zipped through your brain or your mind. But that day when I was thinking about this, that what is an emotion? So basically, when we talk about emotion, it's the energy in motion. And why do we call that energy in motion? Because I was just asking this question to myself. So why do we call emotion an energy in motion? So energy keeps moving, and that is the reason why it also has a vibrational frequency in it. So when we talk about any kind of an energy, it keeps changing, it keeps transforming, it is not stagnant, it is very transient, it is not something that is permanent. This is what energy is, this is what any kind of an emotion is. So you might have also realized in your life that whenever throughout the day you are going through a particular kind of an emotion, you do not stick to that emotion for a very long time. You can't. Sometimes, probably you will start the day with a lot of joy, and after 1 hour, you're okay, you're happy. And after some time, there's another feeling that creeps into you. Maybe you feel sad. Maybe you feel depressed about certain things. Maybe you're disturbed. So when we talk about, friends, the energy, or when we talk about emotion, emotion keeps changing. And that is why it is called energy in motion. Emotion means energy in motion because it keeps changing. It does not stick to one. It is not stagnant. So sometimes you can be compassionate, and the other time maybe in another 1 hour you might be unkind to somebody. So we keep going through so many emotions, and that is the reason why it is so beautiful, because it also teaches us the impermanence of everything. Impermanence of happiness, impermanence of sadness, impermanence of a sad feeling or feeling of not having enough. These all emotions, be it gratitude, be it anything, it is all impermanent. It all depends upon you, to which kind of a vibration you want to stick to which kind of an emotion you want to stick to. So since energy is there, because emotion is connected to the energy, so this energy has a voltage. And when an energy has a voltage, it gets resonated, it resonates with a kind of a vibrational frequency. And that is why we always say that everything, animate, inanimate, has an energy, is energy, and everything that is animate or inanimate has a vibrational frequency of its own. And that is what the emotion is also. The same emotion also has a vibrational frequency of its own. So the higher the vibrational frequency, the higher is our expansion, friends. The higher the vibrational frequency, the higher the expansion, and greater would be the life force which is there in our cells. And the lower the vibrational frequency, the greater would be the contraction of that cell. I hope I'm trying to explain it nicely to you, because the article that I'm going to read it out to you, it is going to clear it furthermore. But what I'm trying to say is, if you are vibrating on a higher frequency emotions, it will actually increase and expand your life force which is there in your cells. But if you are on a low vibrational frequency emotions or that kind of an energy, what will happen? Your cells are going to get depleted. The life force which is there in your cells, they get depleted, they get contracted. And that is how, you start attracting the illnesses, you start attracting these all kind of physical ailments that you have, be it physical, mental, emotional, all. So every emotion has a frequency. Every emotion, whenever you are talking to an emotion, whenever you are sitting with an emotion, it is very important that how are you sitting with that emotion? For how long are you sitting with that emotion? So when I started understanding this emotion thing, that this is an energy in motion and it keeps shifting the way we are shifting our attention, what happened was I tried to consciously bring into my life those things which were high vibrational energy. For example, gratitude, meditation. These are high vibrational frequency, you can say emotions or things or objects. So I started eating high vibrational food, which used to bring more freshness into me, which used to refresh my cells, which used to expand my cells. I stopped having non-vegetarian completely because that is something which lower down your vibrational frequency. Then also walking in the nature, connected to the nature, being connected to the nature, being connected to the flowers and everything around, hugging the trees. And then you can say that, caring for other people. All these things actually, increased my vibrational energy. And that is how I started connecting with the angels and the light beings, or the Lemurian, light bearers. So this is how I started connecting with them, because people used to ask me, how do I connect? How can you talk to the angels? I always tell them, everybody has this ability to connect with the light beings to that dimension. The only thing is that you have to work on your vibration, your frequency, your emotion, because everything is related to that. If you are absolutely constantly working on an emotion of gratitude or thankfulness to the universe and to everyone, if you are absolutely on a frequency of love, if you keep seeing that, if you keep imbibing it, integrating it in your life, trust me, your frequencies are going to go level up. Every time you do that, it is one notch up. So now I'm going to read the article. And this is supposed to be a very, very important article according to me. I don't know what you think and what you feel about it, but I feel it is very important, because as meditators, we must know that, what is the energy level of any kind of an emotion, on what frequency does our emotion act and work. So once we have that knowledge, once we have that awareness, what will happen? We will consciously try to choose that emotion which will higher up our frequency levels rather than lowering it down. I hope I did not confuse you, because it took me also a lot of time to understand this energy that is in motion. But right now I'm going to read the article. This article is very, very, very beautiful. Please just listen to this article, as we talked about the importance of listening as compared to hearing. So I am requesting all of you in this session to listen to this article, so that you can also learn from it the way I learned, and you will be able to implement it. So I am going to read this article. This article is really very beautiful. And I will be switching off my video for some time, and then I'll get back again. So while you are doing it, I would request all of you to close your eyes so that your focus is absolutely on the words that I'm going to speak. So this article is being written by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And who is Sir David R. Hawkins? He was a nationally renowned psychiatrist, physician, researcher, spiritual teacher, and lecturer. He was the founding director of the Institute for Spiritual Research, Inc., and founder of the Paths of Devotional Non-Duality. A trademark of Dr. Hawkins' research is his pioneering, internationally known and applied map of consciousness. So now I'm going to read the article, and this article is very beautiful. Please pay attention to the words. Please listen to the words that I'm saying. The centerpiece of the map of consciousness consists of the level themselves, along with their corresponding numerical values on the calibrated scale of consciousness from 1 to 1,000, where 1 is existence and 1,000 is the highest level of truth that occurs on the planet. All levels below 200 come from force and are destructive of life in both the individual and society at large. I'm again saying this. All levels below 200 come from force and are destructive of life in both the individual and society at large. In contrast, all levels above 200 are constructive expressions of power. The decisive level of 200 is the critical factor point, the fulcrum that divides the general areas of force from power. Each one of these levels has its own paradigm of reality and values that define what is acceptable. For example, in the energy fields under 200, it makes sense to nurse hatreds, cheat buyers, and kill the enemy. Yet, in the energy fields over 200 is the domain of love. Now I'm going to talk about different energy levels and what is the reason for that, which Dr. David R. Hawkins is telling in this article. So number one, shame, the emotion of shame. On which energy level is it? So the emotion of shame is on the energy level 20. So there is a scale. If you remember, he was telling us about the scale. The scale is from 1 to 1,000. On the scale of 1 to 1,000, the emotion of shame, friends, is on the energy level 20. So what he says is the level of shame is perilously proximate to death, which may be chosen out of shame as conscious suicide or more subtly elected by the failures to take steps to prolong life as in passive suicide. Death by avoidable accident is common. We all have some awareness of the pain of losing face, becoming discredited, or feeling like a non-person. In shame, people hang their heads and slink away, wishing they were invisible. Banishment is a traditional accompaniment of shame, and in the primitive societies from which we all originate, banishment is equivalent to death. Shame is also used as a tool of cruelty, and its victims often become cruel themselves. The behavior of people whose consciousness level is only in the 20s is dangerous. Some shame-based individuals compensate by perfectionism and rigidity and often become driven and intolerant because it pulls down the whole level of one's personality. Shame results in a vulnerability to the other negative emotions and therefore often produces false pride, anger, and guilt. Now, he's talking about the emotion guilt. So on what energy level the guilt operates? On our human consciousness, It's the energy level 30 on the scale of, again, friends, I'm reminding you, it's on the scale of 1 to 1000. So the guilt, the emotion of guilt is on the energy level 30. Guilt, so commonly used in our society to manipulate and punish, manifests itself in a variety of expressions such as remorse, self-recrimination, masochism, and the whole gamut of symptoms of victimhood. Unconscious guilt results in psychosomatic diseases, accident proneness, and suicidal behaviors. Many people struggle with guilt their entire lives, while others desperately attempt escape by immorally denying guilt altogether. Guilt domination results in a preoccupation with sin and unforgiving emotional attitude frequently exploited by religious demagogues who use it for coercion and control. Now, the third level that he's talking about is apathy. So, on what level in our consciousness this apathy, this emotion works? So, this is on an energy level 50. This level is characterized by poverty, despair, and hopelessness. The world and the future look bleak. Pathos is the theme of life. Apathy is a state of helplessness. Its victims, needy in every way, lack not only resources, but also the energy to avail what resources may be available. The apathetic are dependent. People in apathy are heavy and are felt to be a burden by those around them. Too often, society lacks sufficient motivation to be of any real help to cultures as well as individuals at this level who are seen as drains on resources. Now, he is talking about the emotion grief. On which level does the emotion grief operates? It's on the energy level 75. So if you have a grief for somebody, if you keep grieving about that person, then your energy levels will come down to 75. Out of 1000, it is on activated on this level of 75. So what he says is, this is the level of sadness, loss, and despondency. Most people have experienced it for periods of time, but those who remain at this level live a life of constant regret and depression. This is the level of chronic mourning, bereavement, and remorse about the past. It is also the level of habitual losers and those chronic gamblers who accept failure as part of their lifestyle, often resulting in loss of jobs, friends, family, and opportunity, as well as money and health. Although grief is the cemetery of life, it still has more energy to it than apathy does. Thus, when a traumatized, apathetic patient begins to cry, we know they are getting better. Once they start to cry, they will begin to eat again. Now he talks about the energy level fear. The energy level of fear, it operates at the number 100. So he says at the level of 100, there is a lot more life energy available. Fear of danger is actually healthy. Fear runs much of the world, spurring on endless activity. Fear of enemies, of old age or death, of rejection, and a multitude of social fears are basic motivators in most people's life. From the viewpoint of this level, the world looks hazardous, full of traps and threats. The proliferation of fears is as limitless as the human imagination. Once fear becomes one's focus, the endless fearful events of the world feed it. Fear limits the growth of the personality and it leads to inhibition. I'm repeating this. Fear limits growth of personality and leads to inhibition. Because it takes energy to rise above fear, the oppressed are unable to reach a higher level unaided. Now, there is another emotion that he talks about is anger. So anger operates on an energy level of 150. Although anger may lead to homicide and war, as an energy level within itself, it is much further removed from death than those below it. Anger can lead to either constructive or destructive action. As people move out of apathy and grief to overcome fear as a way of life, they begin to want. Desire leads to frustration, which in turn leads to anger. Anger over social and injustice, victimization, and inequality has created greater moments. Anger leads easily to hatred, which has an erosive effect on all areas of a person's life. Now, on which emotion pride operates? Pride operates on an energy level of 175. Then he talks about courage. Courage, he says that on the energy level, it operates on number 200. At the 200 level, power really first appears. When we test subjects at all the energy levels below 200, we find, as can be readily verified, that they all go weak. So whosoever has or is operating on the energy level which is beyond 200, friends, they are the ones who are very weak. Weak in the sense that their cells are very weak. They are very contracted and they do not have much of life force in it. They always are in that kind of a always that kind of a mood. They are always grumpy. They are very sad and they keep having that kind of a level of consciousness in them. And that is why they are not able to, come up. So when we talk about courage, this is the critical level because 200 is a critical level that distinguishes the positive and negative influences of life. At the level of courage, an attainment of true power occurs. Therefore, it is also the level of empowerment. This is the zone of exploration, accomplishment, fortitude, and determination. At the lower levels, the world is seen as less. The world is seen as sad. The world is seen as frightening or frustrating. But at the level of courage, life is seen to be exciting, challenging, and stimulating. The collective level of human consciousness remained at 190 for many centuries and curiously only jumped over 200 in the 1980s. So it was in 1980s that it started, the consciousness, the consciousness of the people, it started rising. It was only after 1980. Till then, they were operating on the energy level of 190. Then comes the feeling of willingness, this emotion of willingness. So this very positive level of energy may be seen as the gateway to the higher levels. Willingness implies that they have overcome inner resistance to life and are committed to participation. At this level, people become genuinely friendly and social, and economic success seems to follow automatically. They are naturally helpful to others and contribute to the good of society. They are also willing to face inner issues and do not have major learning blocks. At this level, self-esteem is innately high and is reinforced by positive feedback from society in the form of recognition, appreciation, and reward. Willingness is sympathetic and responsive to the need of others. Having letting go of pride, they are willing to look at their own defects and learn from others who are willing to do everything. Now he talks about acceptance. This operates on the energy level of 350. So if you are in that level of acceptance, friends, then your consciousness will be operating on the energy level 350. At this level of awareness, a major transformation takes place with the understanding that one is the source and creator of the experience of one's own life. Taking such responsibility is distinctive of this degree of evolution, characterized by the capacity to live harmoniously with the forces of life. So this is also a very beautiful emotion if we are operating on that level. That is the level of acceptance. Then he talks about the level of love. So the level of love operates on an energy level 500. Love as depicted in the mass media is not what this level implies. On the contrary, what the world generally refers to as love is an intense emotionality, combining physical attraction, possessiveness, control, addiction, eroticism, and novelty. It is usually fluctuating, waxing and waning with varying conditions. Are you, friends, I just read this. So it is also giving a very different picture of love, the way we use love as. So he's saying that love doesn't refer to as something which is the mass media is showing us or the social media is showing us. It is something different here. So he says that love is here today in this world. Love is just not an emotion. It is something which has to do with attraction, physical attraction, or possessiveness, or obsession, eroticism, and all these things which keep waxing and waning. The 500 level is characterized by the development of a love that is unconditional, unchanging, and permanent. So you will be able to focus on that level only when you have or when you feel an unconditional love to somebody, when you are this emotion is unchanging and this feeling is there for a very long period. So it does not fluctuate because it soars within the person whose love is not dependent on any kind of an external condition. So that is the person who is going to vibrate on that level of 500. So loving is a state of being. It is a way of relating to the world that is forgiving, nurturing, and supportive. Joy, this is another emotion that he talks about. And friends, the joy, it is on the energy level of 540. Then comes peace. If you're operating on with the peaceful mind, the energy level is going to go to 600. Then he talks about enlightenment, friend. This is I'm going to talk about first the peace. This energy field is associated with the experience designated by such terms as transcendence, self-realization, and God consciousness. It is extremely rare. When the state is reached, the distinction between subject and object disappears, and there is no specific focal point of perception. Not uncommonly, individuals at this level remove themselves from the world as the state of bliss that ensues precludes ordinary activity. Some become spiritual teachers, others work anonymously for the betterment of humankind. So this is for the people who are operating on the mental level of peace and they have an energy level of 600. And the highest energy level is enlightenment, which operates on a frequency of 700 to 1000. This is the level of the great ones of history who originated the spiritual patterns that multitudes have followed throughout the ages. At this level, there is no longer the experience of an individual personal self as separate from others. There is no separation. Rather, there is an identification of self with consciousness and divinity. The unmanifest is experienced as self beyond mind. This is the peak of the evolution of consciousness in the human realm. This level of divine grace calibrates up to 1000, the highest level attained by any who have lived in recorded history, to wit, the great avatars for whom the title Lord is appropriate: Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, and Lord Jesus Christ. So I'm going to show you right now the map of human consciousness that he has put in his book, Sir David Hawkins. And you can also see here, this is the complete map. If it is visible, I don't know whether it is visible or not. It's clear or not, I don't know. But this is the map that he has given, in which he has written everything. What are the levels? What is the log? What is the emotion? What is the process to achieve that? So it was, I mean, for me, when I read this topic, it was a very enlightening topic for me. So I would love to hear from all of you. What do you think about this topic that I chose to read uh, in front of you? So anybody wants to say anything about this, or anybody wants to share anything or ask?
That's a fear is kind of like a dark energy. Everybody, we carry fear. I don't know from where, and I think the desire. If you have desire, then you can overcome it. I mean, I am doing meditation, but I still have fear. Not me. I mean, people born like a different, you know, different way. Some has little fears, some has more fear. But if you are conscious that I have fear, you can overcome it. I think fear is most important. Everybody born with it. I do not know why.
I think fear is always there within us, but the
Yes.
only thing, Sangamita ji, is that we have to work on our vibrations.
Yes.
We have to work
Yes.
that for how long are we sitting with that fear? That depends upon us.
Yes.
So what happens with me also?
And then
Sangamita
also
ji,
also about the opportunity. Whenever you get the opportunity, like the world is full of people. They are working to survive and for family, and they don't have time to think about themselves. So they are just adjusting. And then one point, maybe I do not know how, they just realize that, and that point is a point where everything changed. They look at themselves and they think, okay, I have to work on myself because I'm fearful all my life. Anything. I mean, right?
yes, because the awareness starts dawning into them, the awareness comes to them, and that's how they realize that they don't have to. So, like, for example, me, I was also like, very fearful kind of a person who used to have normal, simple fears that everybody faces. But when I started coming in, with Patriji, and I started sitting with him and started meditating with him, there were so many things that got cleared at that time, because I realized that, because the angels also used to tell me that, I realized that I do not have to stick to that emotion. See, everybody is human. I'm human, you are human.
Yes.
We are going to go that roller coaster ride of emotions.
Yes. Yes.
We
yes.
can't ignore that. Sometimes we'll feel very low, sometimes we'll feel very sad, sometimes we'll feel very depressed, right?
Yes.
But then for how long are you sticking to that emotion? That is what the meditators have to do. Because if we are on a spiritual journey, then we have to really work on ourselves. We just keep on working on ourselves. So this is what this article is also about, because this is actually, you can say, a guiding light, a watch, a watchtower, you can say, in the midst of the sea, and it is telling us that, hey, this is the energy level of this emotion, this is the energy level of this emotion, which energy level do you want to be? So if what I used to do was, for example, if I'm fearful of something, or I'm getting tensed about certain things, or I'm anxious about something, I used to be there in that emotion for some time, then I used to switch from that emotion. I used to just start thinking about the solutions. And when the solution used to come, I used to be, in the other emotion, that is joy or happiness or acceptance or willingness.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Sangamita ji.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. Is there anybody else who wants to say anything or add?
Hi, Sharoo. Can I say something? I listened at the
Yes.
end. It's a very good topic, very loaded topic, very deep topic. So my thoughts that came to me, I was listening on YouTube because I'm moving around, but I just wanted to share my thoughts quick. So emotions are created by our thoughts. Both are fleeting. We know this. We know this, it comes from awareness, but sometimes it's hard to know. Some people say it's like changing the channel. You can change it. Because with the thoughts come the emotion, comes the vibration, and comes the chart that you were showing. So, but that only happens, to change, to know, comes with the awareness. How does this awareness come? It can come with reading or listening to, topics like yourself, or through meditation. But we forget we have that power to change that. We forget, we think it's an outside source. It's not an outside source, it's an inside source. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's purpose. It's by choice. I sometimes, even when I go through things, I think, well, why am I thinking? Because when we think of things that, let's say, make us sad, or if we're grieving, we're going back to the point of that thought and creating that emotion. If we change the thinking, the emotion just goes away. So instead of thinking of something that really makes me sad, or feel different, feel low energy, I consciously, with awareness, have to change my thought pattern and say, hey, I'm not there right now. I'm here right now. That happened before. And, or if I have anticipation for the future, I have to again bring my awareness to that hasn't happened yet. So why am I there? I'm here, and here I'm okay. I'm at peace. I have, there's nothing going on for me to have those kind of thinking, those kind of emotion, that kind of vibration now. And another thing that I'm going a little bit deviation, our vibrations are carried. It's our consciousness is universal to our Earth planet. If something happens somewhere, it's collective consciousness. We feel it like it happened to us. We feel it like, if there's death somewhere, that's sad, or if there's injustice somewhere, or if something's happening somewhere, we feel it like it's happening to us, because that's collective. So even though we don't have to be affected by the outside, it does affect us, because that's carried by the vibration. How do we change that? Again, through meditation, through acceptance that we all have to consciously change. When we personally consciously change the thought, the vibration, and the emotion, the world in front of us will change. It seems so easy, right? It's not so easy. It's with conscious awareness. We have to be consciously aware too. So that's where the mindfulness comes in. So it's a beautiful topic, because it's interrelated to so many things, Sharoo.
Yes.
So I love it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Mridulaji. Thank you for sharing so much. Yeah, it's heavily loaded. I mean, you just keep on reading this topic again and again, and then only it just gets into your mind, and then you start working on it. That is what, because as you said, everything is interrelated. So yes, thank you so much, Mridulaji. Thank you so much for bringing up your points and the additions, the beautiful additions. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ji Anuji. You have to unmute yourself. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hi.
yes.
Yeah. Thank you for such a different topic again. I would say my understanding of it and how I work on it and practical ways changed over period. Earlier, there was just a concept of positivity and negativity, nothing beyond that. I was growing up or before meditation and always thought, okay, we are not supposed to address our emotions. We are supposed to brush it under. The more we avoid it and more we try to be positive on a surface level with the affirmations and laws of secret and so-called LOA, it will work. And I would parrot these things. Oh, I'm beautiful, or self-love, talk in front of the mirror. And none of it worked ever. Okay. And as I fumbled and failed and miserably fell through this, I thought there has to be something more than this, because it can't just be that. So second stage came when I realized it's all about frequency, vibrations, and energy, right? But when you are in a pity pool, I would say it is still, uh, at least the pity pool sounded like a sauna, it is like a nice spa. You are always in that same, oh, this happened to me. How much trouble I've taken. Oh, I'm a stronger person because I've gone through all this. And I would justify that as a victim, somewhere there was a glorification of even the sadness or the fear, or I've immersed so much, I'm definitely progressing. This is even after coming in meditation. Oh, I'm like a warrior, I've cut this, I've understood my emotions, now I can sort them, I will sit with them and all that thing. But it didn't work still. It's still, I've seen myself behaving like a stepmom to my own kids, and I'm really known to be best friends with kids everywhere in the building or outside, because I used to do voluntary work with them or whatever. But my kids would say, oh, you act so cool with everyone, but with us, you're so different, right? So it was, I think, what we project, what we do, I felt I was being a pseudo. So this is second layer. But slowly, and the third phase, which was important, was how it was harming me and how it was creating these different realities of me, which I have kind of created. And I love projecting that at different places. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that I would love to glorify some pains and saying, I've done this in life, and some like that. But from past few months, what has happened, I have gotten, I will talk to you about it, which is this entire concept about fear, low vibration, this concept about all these belief systems. Shame, for example, is a concept a child would not know. How does shame come into picture? When you are projected something, there is a achievable, or you're supposed to be so and so, and if you don't, and if you fall from grace, and we haven't even left the angels, we have categorized everything, right? So even these emotions, I think these are human created, right? Be it abandonment, we have given very heavy words to these emotions, uh, which are different degree of vibration, which you just spoke about, right? What I recently came to know was that in our history of are becoming humans, right? Because first of all, we are all star seed people who have volunteered to come on earth. Basically, there is a pact done by the good light people. We are not going to judge anything, but we're going to say that there's a pact done by light people and pact done by the other dark side people who thought that it's a free will area. Earth is basically a free will zone. So it was supposed to be an intergalactic zone where everyone could come and prosper and try to create a different reality. But maybe some billion years ago, what happened was, it's been taken over by dark forces. I'm talking about these fears and things like that. What they do is, if you've seen the movies and things like that, they live on our fear, they live on our low vibration, they live on our confusion. So this is fuel for them. We're constantly surrounded by these, I don't know if you're aware of it, but the concept, when I heard it, I was like, so we are not going to judge them, because it's again duality, because there's a third dimension earth and it's a free will, we can't stop them. But now it's changing and light is definitely winning. There are still patches of it that's happening, but the main idea is the more fearful we are, the more limited we are in our resources, the more we forget that we are actually these great spiritual beings. They'll thrive by it. It's fuel for them. So that's why if you see all the monks and all the sadhus and everyone they've been beating around the bush. They didn't tell us anything about this intergalactic thing. They just told us balance your emotions. Don't be too high, don't be too low. No one talked about the actual work that happens behind the scene. So I'm still kind of in the process of learning that entire process. But the more I know about it, how they influence us, we have so many beings who even right now, who are indulging, if they want an experience, without our permission, they won't get it, obviously. But the minute we are in low vibration, we kind of allow them to have that experience.
Absolutely. This is what I was about to say, that this kind of an experience they will only have when we will allow them to be. If we are constantly on that level of consciousness, when we are on that vibration, then only they can attack us, or they can come into us, or they can just put holes in our aura shield. So that is how they can do that. But when we are meditating, we create a very powerful shield, powerful shield, and we are able to create that within our aura. So yes, Anu, you're absolutely right. I agree, absolutely, 110%.
So it's time that we all wake up to that thing, that not everything that is not shown to us or not known to us, maybe in the right now, it's good to be aware that this remote control, we should own it. The channeling, we should own it. We have our own Netflix within us. We should know what is going on. I mean, it's difficult, but so when I'm processing the same information that you gave, fear, guilt, shame, because it's still happening, whatever is happening, extraterrestrial or earth level or intergalactic, but we're still facing it. So I do two things. One, I become really aware about how long will I sit in this pity pool. If there's any solution I can create around it. If not, then let it go. Maybe it's part of my experience. Because that's more, because somewhere you have to calm the mind it needs logical conclusions, right? Otherwise it won't leave you. So I just say, okay, I have to just go through this experience, and I've experienced it, that's it. So if I'm fearful of something, I just try to sit and see, why am I fearful? If I can do something, great. Otherwise I say, okay, I admit I'm fearful of it, let it be. So things like that. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anuji. Yeah, but we have to keep trying to come out of that vibration. That's what I do. I don't try to be on that level of consciousness for a very long time, because I know it is going to harm me. And because there is a ripple effect in the universe, as you and Mridula ji were also telling, there's a ripple effect in the universe. Whatever we feel, whatever our emotions are saying, it also has an impact on the universe. So even if it is not visible on the superficial level, but undercurrents are always there. We can
yes,
still
ma'am.
feel.
One last thing I would say, ma'am, I've read more than hundreds or 200, maybe more than that, near-death experiences. And what was the most striking point was that people thought it was the big things that we do that create a ripple effect, or that create this change in the world. But it was the tiniest thing. Like they would have smiled at a stranger. They would have been good to a beggar. And that would have just reciprocated. I mean, it's all through the near-death experiences that how it changed someone else's life, or a day, or a relation, or a cause to prevent them from dying. It was that impactful, So yeah, you're right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, even a little tiniest of the things that you are doing, it has a ripple effect that I have also felt. So there was an example, a child, a small child goes and puts a seed near the ocean. It plants a seed near the ocean. So that plant grows. And as soon as the plant grows, the flower is also there, the fruit is also there. So there is one person who goes there, sees the flower, and sees the beauty of that flower, plucks that flower, and feels that the life is so temporary, it's so transient. So why not heal my relations? So he gets that feeling from that flower which was being planted by that little boy who didn't have any kind of an intention but to plant a seed. So that person goes there, goes to the cemetery where his wife is dead. There is just it's a cemetery, goes there, puts that flower and starts shedding the tear that I'm so sorry, I never forgave you for what you did. Now today I seek for forgiveness, and I also forgive you for what you did. So can you see the ripple effect? And when the forgiveness comes, he starts vibrating on the level of that forgiveness, that consciousness, and this goes into the universe. And the universe, the Mother Earth, her level of vibrations, her vibrations also start vibrating on a higher level. It also increases. So it's like a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. So this example is also something which is validating whatever you said, Anu. Yeah, so it's a ripple effect. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Induji, who are they? Okay, so they are the extraterrestrial beings and the other light beings from the different dimensions that Anuji is talking about. So, Anuji, is it right, or is it something that you want to explain?
So basically, there's a pact when we say we all have originated from the same source, all of us. But some people experiment. Some people, when I'm saying, is the light beings who wanted to see how far the light can go. And we are all experimenting right now, the same thing, right? We are giving that experience back to our higher self, who's giving it back to the source. But there was a group of, we'll say group in the beginning, but now there were many, many more. And they decided to experiment the dark side. So that's why we say we don't need to judge them, even if they do evil things, because end of the day, they are also experiencing something that will go back to the source. So it's a little difficult to understand because we start judging even God's intention. But it's all about, it's like Sharoo Khan doing a movie. So he will do a negative role and he will do a positive role. So when you start judging him in Dar, where he's a villain, sorry for the people who have not seen, he's a villain in that movie, and versus the movie where he's a hero. It's all just, but when we are in this realm, everything is very, 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 very real. And it's a question of how these dark beings will come to light. And there's a whole lot of data even about this. I think right now this much information is fine. Right, Sharuji? Is this?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anu. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ji, Chumki ji.
Yes. I am here doing meditation for just 10 days, and I don't have much experience. And when you were talking about the fear, then what I am feeling today, when you discussed all this, I feel like the fear is coming in me. I'm experiencing the fear, and I don't know where the fear is coming from. So I don't know, how to act on that. It's like I don't know the reason of my fear, sometimes the fear has no reason, and I don't know the source of my fear. So then I'm feeling then how to act on that when I don't know.
Chumkiji, fear is an emotion on which we have to act because the answers are there within us. We know what is bothering us. We have to be honest and authentic. So maybe in the near future, I will also take a session on fear, that how you can pull out the fear from you, how you can, recognize that fear or identify that fear. But that is for a different session, because when we start talking about fear is a vast subject because it envelopes our entire being. So I cannot just speak about fear in just few words, but yes, what I can suggest you is that you have to sit, Chumki ji, with yourself and try to journal it down, take out a diary and a pen and ask yourself that what is it that is making you fearful. So give you can say 1, 2, 3 numbers, and which is the most fearful thing that is there in your life, then second, then third. This is how you are supposed to work on it. Once you know what is it, then you start working on it. Yeah.
But if there is no reason for the fear,
it's not possible. It's not possible because either it is coming from your inner child, okay. Either it is coming from inner child, which generally it happens, or it is coming from your past life. So there are 2 reasons or fear or the present circumstances. So there has to be a reason for a fear, that why that fear has, entered into your being in the first place. So there has to be a reason. That is something which you need to ask yourself.
If the fear is coming from the past, and the past has no, you cannot change the past.
You cannot change the past, but you can change now. As far as your present is concerned, you can change your present, how you're thinking right now, what you're doing right now, how you're supposed to act right now, what sort of action or speech you are using right now. So when you start dealing with now, that is the time when you start changing everything.
Yeah. I think I have to go through the process, right?
Yes.
If I should work on this.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sharoo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amkiji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, whosoever has put it in the chat box. Thank you so much, Leela ji. Thank you. Thank you so much, Swarna ji. Thank you so much, Indu ji. Thank you, Bindu ji. Thank you so very much. So anybody else wants to say anything? Yes, Induji, it's a very profound topic, very profound. I mean, it's like very deep. So is there anybody who wants to say anything?
Hi, Sharoo. This is Sapna.
Yes. Hi, Sapna. Yes. Hi.
Yeah, the topic was really something that it kind of struck totally. When maybe I am when I experienced the emotions of being in fear or being in anger or being in peace, I used to internally feel that my energy level is something different. Each time I would feel that, but I couldn't relate it to anything as to why am I feeling it that way. But today, when you mentioned about those different levels of energy with different emotions, that kind of resonated so well with me, and I kind of could relate to it. Like, if you are dwelling in a particular emotion, then why is the energy level, why did I feel that my energy level was depleted? And let's say one day I was peaceful and I felt like I'm so energetic, and I was able to accomplish much more than the next day when I was kind of sad because of something. And so that kind of resonated very well, and I really appreciate you giving me that clarity. It really helped. My only thing that I feel a little difficult for me, and I don't know if it is universal, if I am in a feeling of, let's say, guilt mainly, it takes a longer time for me to get out of it and then come back into the peaceful state and vibrate at that level. So I try to talk to myself. I try to do a lot of self-talk and try to explain it to myself that what has to happen happens. It was just like, I was the reason maybe for that thing to happen. And so it's not truly my fault. Maybe at that time it was, but I don't have to carry that guilt with me throughout. And there has been something that was, I don't even know if it was my fault, but I just took it as my guilt. And I carried it for like 10 years. And I don't know if you remember me, but I was, few of your sessions helped me to get out of it. And now I try to come out of any of those kind of feelings sooner than later, but I still struggle with, coming out. So is there anything that you can suggest that can help me with this struggle of mine?
Sapna, I think that is okay. I think that is applicable to all of us, because at least you are not stuck there. You are at least moving. You are even taking one step ahead, and you have come a long way, because I know Sapna as something else when she had joined the beam meditation, when she used to talk to me. So now today, your vibrations, the energy levels that I feel inside Sapna and the aura is completely changed. So that means we are working on ourselves. And Sapna, you're also working on yourself. You're not now that you are not the person, same kind of person who used to dwell in the sob story that, oh, hey, something happened with me. Now today you are saying that, hey, I need a solution, and I am dwelling on that solution. So there is a big change. It's a paradigm shift, I guess, in the emotions itself. So I think, you are working wonderfully, Sapna. The only thing is that, as you said, guilt. Yes, guilt is a very strong emotion, and our mind always, puts us into that trap again and again. The only thing, again and again, I said that consciously we have to create and make a choice for ourselves how to come out of that.
Right.
Okay. So every time there is a self-talk that has to happen, and you have to tell that, no, Sapna, why are you guilty about? What are you guilty about? So, the answer will come and you will come out of it. Yeah.
True. That was helpful. Thank you so much, Sharoo.
Thank you,
And
Sapna.
as always, you always give me a lot of positive vibes. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so Sumiti ji is saying, thank you, Shahji, for the stimulating and enlightening wisdom. Thank you, Masters, for your insights, and Ramji's team for this platform. I like the fact that a person plants a learning block based on the person's low frequency. This answers the so-called stubborn attitude or lack of comprehension by the listener. I now have to understand that person and see if I can support or observe accordingly, as this is also the soul's journey to learn. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that this topic helped so many, because this is what my intention was, that at least, while I'm reading this topic and while we are discussing, it should help each one of us. Ji Mridula ji.
I also wanted to say that, as we mentioned, this is a very deep, loaded topic, and we've come to know the awareness. So it doesn't mean that we have to figure it out right now.
Yeah.
We just took the first step. I don't want people to think now we know this is happening, so we have to change now, and then we feel also emotion from that. Just knowing that this is happening and being aware and taking the first step is wonderful.
Absolutely, Mridulaji. You said the beautiful thing, because you are not supposed to repress, you are not supposed to suppress, and you are not supposed to dissociate, because these are the three things usually we do. We either repress or suppress or dissociate ourselves. We are not supposed to do that. It's a journey, as Mridulaji said also, that we have to do it slowly and gradually. We can't just jump into it. Sometimes it takes the entire incarnation to work on one emotion. So please be gentle with yourself. This is what I can tell you. And just take it slow. Take it slow. One step at a time. Yeah.
Yes. And we're all work in progress. We're all work in progress.
Absolutely. Yes, Ram sir, I'm waiting. Okay, Sharda Garu is here. Yes, Sharda Garu.
No, Ram sir, I want to hear first Ram sir. So yeah.
Sharda Garu first.
Oh, okay, sir. So thank you so much, Sharuji. It's like everyone said, it's a loaded, and I was thinking of my own vibrations where
You have muted yourself, Sharda Garu.
Yes, Sharuji. So I'm thinking, so what's my percentage on which emotion? So a little bit I'm feeling happy, Sharuji. So whatever the workout I have done on myself with the guidance from Mahatar Babaji and also the other masters. And yes, our friends. And also, so I'm happy a little bit now that yes, my percentages are near 2000, I would say. So yes, Sharuji, this emotions, it's a big topic, and what I want to say is with some emotions we can stop in the initial stage itself. We need not take it, we need not take every emotion to us. Like Mahavtar Babaji always says, avoid arguments. So arguments, when you avoid arguments, so you won't take unnecessary emotions into it. So avoiding arguments and being with love. So the love energies are always keep you in high vibration. And Sita Mata also said that with love is a pure unconditional one, and no expectations. When we take all these wisdoms to a certain point, we can avoid all these unnecessary emotions. And also the message from Orcutorians. So they said that it is not necessary to give a reply or explanation to each and every question, whatever the other the speak, whatever if the opposite they ask anything for explanation, or they like, no, you can stop the argument itself. So being in the silence. So all these when we do these things, most of the emotions it is not necessary to take. So we can deal with our own emotions, what we already, we can, it will be easy for us to work out on the hidden emotions. If we if we stop taking from unnecessary ones. So this is what I want to share with you, Sharoo.
Thank you,
Thank you
Shada
so
Garu.
much for this
Thank you.
topic.
Thank you, Shada Garu. But what happens is that when we are facing something, so when a person is facing a challenge or a situation, there is so much of tempest of emotion that a person deals with. And at that time, you cannot logically tell that person to avoid this and this emotion or to take this and this emotion. At that time, we have to be very consciously, we have to be aware of these emotions which are there, and we have to sit with these emotions, no matter whatever emotions these are there. Because, because there are people who are facing so much trouble, so much pain, so much suffering is there in the entire world today, that it becomes very difficult for them to come out of that situation. For example, the last week only I was talking to a lady who had who had she had a boy 18 years old, and who had committed suicide. And he was the only son of the parents, and now the parents don't know how to come out of that situation. That emotion of grief is so much into them, because that he was the only son they had. Now at that time we cannot say that please do not let the anger or guilt or shame or regret come into you. So at that time we have to tell them other things, we have to take them other way around, so that they come out of that guilt, they come out of that regret by sitting with it, by identifying what is the reason, by coming to terms with that, and by accepting it and having the willingness to accept. Because I knew that they, unless and until they they accept the death of their son, they will not be able to move forward in their lives. So yes, we have to have a lot of empathy towards everybody whosoever is dealing with such emotions also. So yes, Sharda Garu, absolutely I agree with that point, that we are not supposed to let that emotion come. But when it comes, what then? So we have to be we have to brace up for that particular situation, that what if it comes, what do we have to do at that time? Yeah. So thank you so much, Radha Garu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sharji. Yes, but we have to yes, Sharji, I understand. So it sometimes some emotions takes a lot of time. Yeah, we have to sit and we have to understand. So what I do, even I go through, Sharji, it's like like what you said, is a roller coaster one. So ups and downs are so common.
Absolutely.
So when I go into that deep emotion, so first I want to become neutral first. So when I become neutral, when I get balance in mind, so then I go back again and I try to understand the emotion, but I won't try to take the feeling. where the
True.
emotion is getting from. So I don't want to take that feeling. Just I want to understand the emotion to get the solution. So,
Wonderful.
I try this. Yeah.
Wonderful. 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 I mean, yes, coming into the state of neutrality, as you said, is the best thing to do. Become neutral and then just start responding to a situation as Sharda Garu is saying, and then the solution is going to be there. Yes. Thank you so much, Sharda Garu, for these last few lines were amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharoo.
Sharoo, I want
Mridula ji.
one quick thing. I'm sorry. I know where time is late for you. When during this conversation, I did think of a family here. They had one son, and I was actually probably a few years older than him, and he had passed by accident. And I actually came to the city where that family is, in Austin. And, they were kind of like my guardians. And I've known that man since I was a little girl. So in the car driving, I was telling him that with my job, I'm having some situations and things like that. And then he said that he regrets when his son died. He stopped his job. He went to India and, and took a few years off. And then he came back. And then he said, I wish I didn't take that time off. I wish I worked and lived through. But see, if anybody told him that, if anybody told him that, it would have gone through like, what are you saying to me? I lost my son.
Absolutely.
But when
Absolutely.
he went through that, realized on his own, we have to realize on our own.
Yes.
Then he was able to tell me from his experience and what he learned on the other side of whatever he went through. And then he was able to tell me that that's what he, wished that he had done. But I don't think anybody could have told him anything at that moment, to be this way or that
Yes.
way. He come out of it on
Yes.
his, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why everybody has to take their journey. We are just, but even if we tell this and that, they have to come through it on their own understanding. And how that happened, Sharoo, we know through meditation.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely. This is the thing that I tell everybody, and it is a journey. Absolutely, Mridulaji, because if we tell that person the same thing, it would hurt them like anything. So we cannot say these things. Yes, meditation is the way. To be with yourself is the way, and how you tell them, it's also something which really matters a lot, so that it just seeps into them that meditation is the way. So when they start understanding this, the journey starts and they come to that realization. So thank you so much, Mridulaji. Thank you so very much. Shukriya. Thank you. Ji sir. Ram Garu, waiting.
Wonderful session, Sharuji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
With this topic, you stirred all our emotions.
Yes.
It's very, very nice sharings. And
Yes.
Anuji, wonderful sharings. Everyone, great listening. And it comes to the point that there are so many ways. There are so many ways out to tackle this topic. And everyone need to find their way. Not necessarily there is one way for everyone, but everyone need to find their own way that works. And life is such a wonderful opportunity for all of us, because life is a game wherein we play with emotions. And why do we play? When we play, we become a good player. And with time, life teaches us. And so we are all here. We have to catch that which really connects to us and flow. Just go. And my understanding came through books. And 2009, I read this book, Power versus Force, David Hawkins. And in that book, they were wonderfully explaining how each emotion has a different frequency, starting, every kind of emotion. And I was like, what? Is it so? Yes. When that particular emotion is there, we do experience how our energy is changing. However, reading it in a scientific way completely changed a lot of things within me. So it starts with shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, joy, peaceful enlightenment. So we are all in that journey, and it's not necessarily that when you're enlightened, you don't go to a different emotion. No, we just fluctuate. So it's my journey greatly impacted by reading books, and I think even life had taught me a lot of things. So I learned just being silent, sometimes laughing, also helps me. So particularly, I had this opportunity where Madhu, when she's the reason of stirring some emotions, I simply laugh. And she gets mad, even more mad. I simply laugh. I continue to laugh. She gets more mad. But then basically that is how things work out sometimes and many times. Yeah. So there are many ways to tackle one problem, and we are all here learning, and learning is so beautiful. Even though we feel like we are stuck, we are not stuck. We are learning.
True.
So beautiful. I'm very happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So soulmates are basically not to love you, sir. They are always there to show you the mirror, to stir the emotion. That's what Madhu Garu is doing for you. So she's
Yeah,
stirring the emotions.
sometimes we don't need to talk. A look like that is enough. Things completely can change. So
Okay.
Ram, I want to know what you will do when you say something and Madhu will laugh. I want to see what you.
well,
then
that
both
that
of you, then
that
both of you will laugh together. Then say both of you will laugh together.
I'm sure Madhu will listen to this recording, and she will come back with her comments on this, Mrudulaji, to you.
True.
I love it. I
Absolutely.
love it. I love it because this makes it so touching, right? When you share something personal to you, we can feel that. We feel it
Yes.
because we
Yes.
all go through it. All of us, we go through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so Anuji is saying, please let us know the part 2 of that, Ramgaru. Soon, pretty soon.
Yes. Sunday. Part 2 comes Sunday from Egypt. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sharoo Garu, and thank
Okay.
you, everyone.
Yes.
It's always
Thank you.
beautiful. It's always beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. So let's meditate for a while, for some time, and then before we say good nights and good days ahead. So let's meditate. So, sir, the music. So I would request all of you to be with your breaths, the normal, natural, beautiful, loving breath of yours, because this is the breath that helps you know what your emotions are. This is the breath that helps you go deeper, deeper, and deeper into your own self, into your own emotions and feelings. It helps you understand what is it that is bothering you. It helps you awaken to all the reasons that is stirring your emotions and your feelings. So today, try to be with your breath, with your normal, simple, beautiful, peaceful, lovely breath. And once you are with your breath, you will get all your answers.
Last 1 minute. Let us be grateful for these 1.5 hours of beautiful sharings. From so many masters, enlightening us, giving us keys to the things that we need. Last 20 seconds. Slowly come back to your surroundings, to your physical body. Five seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. You may now place your hands over your eyes. Whenever you are ready, you may open your eyes and take off your hands. Welcome back. Thanks a lot for joining this beautiful session. And with this, we end Friday evening sharings, and we connect back tomorrow morning on this Beam platform with a morning meditation. We also have a Akhanda Dhyana that is being conducted by Faridabad team. The links for that session will be shared on the WhatsApp groups. And tomorrow is the last day for 21 days meditation challenge that was initiated by Master Mudulaji from USA. So we would be having a special session tomorrow evening at 3 p.m. on the same Zoom link that you have logged in now. So do join, even though if you have not participated all 21 days or you're joining for the first time, you're most welcome. We will listen to everyone's sharings and we will have some nice time. And our 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. sessions will continue as usual. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. session Germany time, which is 6:30 p.m. India time or 2 p.m. UK time. This is an extra session. Thank you.